Okay, let's continue this part by adding some animations to our website. So this is the exciting part. This is where things are gonna look fun. And yeah, so the first thing I wanna do is actually make this whole page fade in. So how can we achieve that? Well, what we can do is we can create a keyframe. So we can go all the way down here, and right after this plant, we're gonna say, I'm gonna do a comment here, and I'm gonna say animations. Yeah, baby, okay. Enough, let's move on. So here what I'm gonna do is just define a keyframe. So we can do that by keyframes. I'm gonna say opening. All right, you can give any name you want here, but this is gonna be extremely simple. It's gonna be from to. All right, so what do I wanna do? Well, I wanna go from opacity 0 to opacity 1. So from nothing to something. Let's do opacity 1, and that's it. Now what we can do is just go up to the body. Where's my body? It's here. And what I want to do is just write out that animation. We can say animation like this, and we can give it the name of opening, right? That's what we want to apply to this. And then we're going to define the seconds. I want this animation to last for 1 second. I want an ease in and out function here. So it fades in very nicely, kind of slow at the beginning and slow at the end. And then if we save it and look at it like this, it looks good. Okay, so we have our nice little fade going here, exciting. So what I want to do now is animate these plants. So here it's all about kind of just messing around and see what works. So I created another keyframe here, plant entrance, and we're going to do the same thing, from and to. Okay, and let's try one with transform translate. Okay, so I'm going to add a transform. And I'm gonna say translate, and let's do translate Y. Now, if I add 10% here, this basically means that the flower is gonna be pushed down 10 pixels, 10%. If I add minus, this plant is gonna go up by 10%. All right, so the whole size of this whole thing, it's gonna move it by 10% up. Okay, let's try 10% here, and I wanna go back to 0. So basically what I wanna do is push it down, and at the end, so this is our final destination, we want to get exactly back to this position. And the reason why I want to get back to this position is because I know this position looks good. Okay, so that's kind of how you want to animate a lot of things. You want to position things the way you like, so I'm happy with this. And then I'm going to start from a different position back to the original one. So if I hit save, nothing's going to happen because we still need to add this animation to our plant. So let's go to plant here. Where are you, my plant? Here it is. I'm gonna say animation. Let's try something like plant entrance. All right, that's the name of it. Let's do 1.5 seconds. We're gonna do an ease in and out. And let's do forwards here, okay? So there we go, it goes up beautifully like this. And to be honest, I think we can even get rid of the forwards because this is our finished state anyways, right? We go back to 0, all right? So nothing in theory changes. Because if I move these around, so if I do this here and this goes up here, right? You're gonna see that it's gonna jump back to its original position after the animation finishes. So there you would have to add this forwards so it remains there. However, here we are just jumping back to its original position anyway, so there's no point of adding forwards. There we go, lovely. So that's one. We can even chain together multiple ones if we want. So here I can add a space, I can rotate it if I want. Rotating by Z is gonna give you this effect. Let me quickly show you. So I can do like a -10 degrees here. So here we use degrees. And again, I kind of want to move it just back to its original position. So back to 0. Save. All right, so this is kind of gonna move it this way, like this. This goes around like you would normally spin an object. So like this, right? So this is how rotate Z works. Let's go back to 10 here. I found that this looks quite good. Okay, and finally what I want to use is something called rotate X. So if I add a rotate X, let's do something drastic here so I can show you what happens. 180 degrees and then back to 0. 0. All right, so this kind of flips it that way. All right, kind of in like 3D space, so it doesn't go like a 2D object. So it flips it around like this. And Y flips it around the other way. So not up and down like this, but left to right. Okay, so if you want to do that as well, you can do it with rotate Y. Okay, so here I found that minus 90 degree works well. And we're just going back to 0 again. So hit save. But as you can see, that looks weird. I don't want this to pop up from the middle like this. I want it to pop up from the bottom. So how can I change the position where the animation starts? Again, this looks fine, but I don't want it to start from the middle, unfolding from the middle. I want it to unfold from the bottom. So we can change that by something called transform origin. And that's exactly what it does. If I move the transform origin all the way down here, the spinning is going to happen from this position. So it's going to spin like this, right? It's not going to spin exactly from the center. So you're going to kind of see what happens if we change this. So let me go back here to the plant. And all I'm going to do is say transform origin. And I'm going to move it to the bottom. Hit save. Take a look. Now we have this gorgeous unfolding effect like that. We can change this to top as well, just for fun, and see what happens. As you can see, this is kind of what happens. Everything gets executed from the top. But in this case, we're gonna use bottom like that. Okay, that looks quite good. I am happy with this. What we can also do is delay this a bit. So I want this unfold to happen, this fade in to happen, and then wait a bit, and then start animating the plant. So I can do 0.5 seconds. All right, so we refresh, this fades in nicely, and then we start opening this up. Now, as you can see, we can see that it starts from the original position, right? And then it starts animating after 0.5 seconds. Well, we can fix that by just going down to the last line here, the from position, and just copy that over. So put it up here. So I think we might actually need to add forwards because now it jumps back. Okay, but we don't get that issue anymore, right? So we actually want to add forwards. Let's add forwards, and that should fix our issue. There we go. So now we refresh, we see nothing, and then these plants unfold. Lovely. So what we can do is also chain together multiple animations. So what I want to do is maybe fade this in like this, and then have it move and wiggle around. So super simple. Let's go down here and create another keyframe. We can say keyframes, plant shake, and I can go from to, I'm gonna say, let's do from transform. I'm gonna say rotate Z. I'm gonna do just something slight, -5 degrees, okay? And then just back to 0. And here, actually, I wanna add an infinite animation. I want this to go forever. So all we have to do to chain together multiple animations is literally just add a comma here, comma, and then we can just do another one down here. Plant shake. I want this to go for like 2.5 seconds. Infinite, forever, ease, in and out. Or we can leave just an ease, that's fine. And then we do alternate, reverse, and then 2 seconds delay. Hit save, let's take a look. And there we go. That's what we get. Now, if I remove this alternate reverse, let me show you what you get. Oh, it jumps in a weird way. It starts from the original position and it keeps jumping. Let's see what happens when we add alternate. Yep, it still jumps, but then we're fine. But we still have that initial jump. So with alternate reverse, everything works perfectly. All right, there we go. We have our small little plant animation. We have our refresh animation. Everything looks super, super cool. So good job. Hope you enjoyed this one. This is just so fun to work with and just experimenting with it to see what you come up with. Now, don't be scared and don't be like, oh my God, Ed, how did you come up with this? This seems a bit too complicated. I spent a lot of time with this, just messing around and having fun with it. So I don't want you to get scared. I really want you to experiment with this and see what you can come up with. But this is all about just trying and experimenting, okay? I didn't do this in the first step and I'm like, oh, perfect animation, wow. So please just have fun and just give it a shot. Just mess around with it. It's gonna look terrible. Mine looked terrible for a while and I got something decent looking here after, after a few hours. But hey, this is animations for you. All right, see you in the next section where we're gonna make this menu bar responsive, and we're also gonna add the burger menu and make this, just make it a cool slide out kind of thing. You're gonna see, you're gonna like it. Okay,